well. Patriots and Niners getting into the 4 o'clock window here. Interesting game. Niners obviously coming off a loss that they did not think they were going to have against the Los Angeles Rams, even with a familiar divisional opponent. What do you think the matchup that matters is here for this one?
I have to go Ramondre Stevenson against this Niners defensive front because I do think that is, I mean, the Patriots offense has not been good. But Ramondre Stevenson is, he's just outside the top 10 in rushing yards, 224 rushing yards, and 186 rushing yards after contact, fifth in the league, 15th missed tackles forced on runs, third in the league. So that is the biggest thing here. And there is an opportunity here given that, they're going to go against someone like San Francisco, who is top 10 in rushing yards allowed per game. However, they are 21st in yards per rush allowed.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a discrepancy there within San Francisco's defensive front, and you're going to need to exploit that on a per play basis. Ramondre Stevenson gives you the best opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's defensive line, we all think of it as just feared, like one of the best units in the NFL.
Right.
And in theory, I think on paper it can be, but it hasn't really shown up like that yet this
Hasn't
season.
been as
So
dominant as we
yeah,
thought.
and Ramondre was my plus factor. So I think that's a good sort of transition into it. I mean, he has had a really good start to the year. You mentioned a lot of the stats that I would have mentioned there for him and how well he is playing. And quite frankly, the offense has to run through him because it's not going to be a potent passing attack at all whatsoever. They're not an offense that attacks deep down the field. They've got very young wide receivers, a lot of unproven stuff there. And so if the Patriots, have any sort of plus factor at all in this game, it is going to be through Ramondre Stevenson, giving them some life on the offensive side of the ball. So that was sort of to piggyback off of that point there. But the matchup that matters for me, I'll stay on that side of the ball, and it just has to be the Patriots offensive line versus the Niners defensive line. I would love to talk about things for the Patriots defensive line or get to that side of the ball, but Carmen, at the end of the day, if the Patriots offensive line does not play better, it's not going to matter because
Right.
when you look at this group, 55.4 overall blocking grade for the Patriots, that's 31st in the NFL. And even Michael Onwenu, who is like their lone consistent offensive lineman, 61.1 pass blocking grade. That's it. So like we look to Mike Onwenu and we say, okay, he's going to be the leader of that offensive line. He's going to be the guy who's really going to anchor things. Like even Onwenu is struggling. You got two rookies who are in and out there, and Caden Wallace and Layden Robinson. The veteran David Andrews has really struggled as well. And so it's just not a group that's coming together. And I think when you look at how they played last week, you saw the evidence of why we have not seen Drake May yet. And it's because they don't think that May will be able to learn the way he needs to behind the offensive line as it is currently playing. If they start to play better, we'll not only see the Patriots offense obviously play a little bit better, but I think we will also start to creep into seeing Drake May a little bit sooner. We shall see, because for as much as I said the Niners defensive line hasn't exactly been the world beaters we think they can be, it's still Nick Bosa and company. Like even with Javon
Right.
Hargrave no longer there with the torn triceps, like this is still a group that could really get after the passer. And so it's a major weakness for the Patriots, and it's one that I think the Niners are looking to exploit and get some revenge on after a tough loss for them last week. So what is your plus factor for this game?
Yeah, it kind of rolls in off of that, and it's a combination, I guess, of the Patriots offensive line and what Brissett can do with his arm. The Patriots offense, as you mentioned, has been absolutely atrocious. 24 plays gaining 10 or more yards, which is dead last in the league. 3 plays gaining 20 or more yards, which is 3 fewer than any other offense. 390 passing yard, that's also last in the league. 2 completions gaining 20 or more yards, that's last in the league. And then 43 pressures allowed, which is tied for the fourth most. So I get that Jacoby Brissett cannot get anything going, given the fact that he's behind a line that is not protecting him, and it's the reason, like you said, we aren't seeing a lot of Drake May, especially early. But Jacoby Brissett is going to need to find a way to unleash the arm that he does have and get the ball down the field if this Patriots offense has any hope of balancing out around Ramondre Stevenson.